Welcome back to my YouTube channel Goal IAS. Today we're gonna talk about an important organization which is called as NATO. NATO basically a North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or it is also called as OTAN. OTAN is a French word. Uh, in history, NATO come from history point of view or perspective. We can say that NATO was born due to the World War. When World War was taking place, World War Second was taking place on the first September from 1st September to 1939 to 2nd September 1945, almost a period of 6 years. In World War, there were basically two power, Axis power and Allied power. In Axis power, there is Germany, Italy, Japan, and whereas in Italy power, Allied power, there is Great Britain, France, Soviet Union, which joined in June 1941, and US, which joined in December 1941. Uh, the difference between Soviet Union and US led to the development of NATO. As Soviet Union was a socialist, whereas US followed capitalism. After World War II, there was start of Cold War. Later, when the World War was ended, Germany was divided between four countries: US, USSR, nowadays Russia, France, and Britain. And within the part of USSR, there is Berlin, where Berlin was divided into East Berlin and West Berlin, which is called as Berlin Wall, which divide both Berlin. NATO. Let's not talk about NATO. NATO was established on 4th of April 1949. Nowadays, there are total 32 countries, but the founding members of the NATO were 12. The headquarters of NATO are in Brazil, Belgium. More than 30 lakh soldiers are part of the NATO army. NATO is basically a basically a military organization. There are the following members of NATO: US, Canada, Iceland, Turkey, UK, France, Germany, North Macedonia, Poland, Croatia, Slovakia. These are the two official languages of NATO is English and French. As of today, the 14th Secretary General of NATO is Mark Rutte, and if you are following current affairs, you may see him where he was telling that he may put sanctions on India for supporting Russia, as Indian refineries are buying Russian oil and supplying to Europe, whereas India's second largest refinery was also have put in sanctions. Have put in sanctions. And Mark Rutte, about his history, he was a former PM of Netherlands. Um, and NATO was made to counter the influence of USSR. If we have seen the world map, so USSR tried to influence Germany and nearby countries. One of the most important thing of NATO is Article 5, which it states that if any country, NATO country, is attacked by any non-NATO country, then it will be understood that the attack was on whole NATO. It doesn't matter if the other countries have good relation or bad relation, how much the trade, how much the past history of friendship was there. Article 5 was once used when 9/11 terrorist attack on US, where twin towers were attacked uh, on the US. And they also have common motto: one for all and all for one. But anywhere, the Article 5 do not imply where there is any kind of civil war, any military coup. No country can have or give an entry in NATO as if they are in war. Like Ukraine also demanded NATO to help them, but they are unable to help them due to NATO regulation, which states that if any country is in the war, it cannot be taken in NATO. If any country wants to join NATO, all the respective country must approve it. Which respective country means which are in part of the NATO, like 32 countries. So all 32 countries need to give approval. For example, like Turkey is blocked Turkey blocking the membership of Sweden. If I'm not wrong, the membership of Sweden was blocked due to some instances regarding Quran. You may check it, I might be wrong, but yeah. Like Ukraine, and earlier I say if any country is in war, so it cannot join the NATO. For example, nowadays we can say Ukraine definitely want to join NATO, but it cannot because of the war going on. And primarily the reason why Russia attacked Ukraine was of NATO. That in Ukraine wisdom to join NATO. US United States of America is the major source of funding of NATO, then which spend around 16 to 17% of their GDP, whereas Germany, UK, France are the countries which also support them, very not as much percentage as the US, but they are the major contributor of NATO in the Europe. The political ambition of the NATO is to promote democratic values among the countries, and the countries which are not part of Atlantic Sea. Basically, the name was NATO was given which countries having the Atlantic Sea, like Europe and US having Atlantic Sea in between. So the countries which are not in Atlantic Sea, so other organization was made, which is basically NATO, like Europe Atlantic Partnership Council, which was established in 1997. It was established after the Cold War ended in 1991, where USSR got disintegrated, and 15 countries plus Russia came up. Then there was a Mediterranean dialogue where Algeria, Misr, Israel, Jordan, Morocco, and Tunisia are the countries which are part of NATO. Then there is ICI, Istanbul Cooperative Initiative, which is in Bahrain, Kuwait. Where Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and UAE are the part of NATO. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe the video. If you want to give any suggestion to me to improve my video, please give your suggestion. It will be really very helpful for me to provide you a quality content and improve myself and help other millions to reach up. Please like, share, and subscribe. It will really help me out. Thank you.